Alright, in this video we're going to look at how to make some chess pieces. We're going to start with the king, and I'm going to be referring to the drawings that were done leading up to this project. So we just used the graph paper to create these different pieces, and the nice thing about that is you can just reference this, and each one of the grid spaces on the graph paper is 1/4 of an inch. So for the king, we can tell that this is going to be 4 inches tall from the top of the crown, just below the fentanyl, just below the cross, all the way to the base is 4 inches. And then we can tell, counting out, that our widest point at the base here is going to be just over 3/4 of an inch. It's actually 0.875, so 7/8 of an inch is what we're going to make that. So let's open up Inventor, and we'll go ahead and get started with this. And I have a part file selected. Just make sure you have a part file that's in standard inches, so you're not using metric units, but you're actually just using standard inches. I'm going to select the XY plane, start a new sketch here. I'm going to sketch my center line first. So I'm going to make this line straight up and down. It's going to be 4 inches tall. That's my reference height. And this is my center line. Most of these are going to have a revolve, so we need that center line to revolve it. Then we go over, this is going to be, make sure it's a straight line, 0.875. And then we sketch this section up 0.375, it was 3/8 of an inch, and then back to the center line, like right there. And then I'm just going to kind of sketch this base, and so I'm going to go up 0.125, that's 1/8 of an inch, and then back to the base. And these numbers, I'm getting these from in that video that we looked at. And so the dimension here from this line to the center line needs to be 0.75. Alright, and then the next thing that I'm going to draw is the collar. So if I go back and refer to the video here, you can see I've drawn these pieces for the base, and now I'm going to go to the collar, which is just under the 3-inch mark, and each one of these is 1/8 of an inch. Each one of these little collar segments is 1/8 of an inch, and this comes out past 1/4 of an inch, and this one comes out 1/2 inch. So that'll be 0.375, that'll be 0.5. So let's go ahead and sketch the collar. You could use a rectangle, that would be okay. But I'm just going to go out 0.5, up 1/8 of an inch, 0.125, back to the center line, and then I'm going to sketch this next one, up 0.125, set this dimension so that from the base of my chess piece to the top of the collar, that is going to be 3 inches. So it just moved it down for me a little bit. And now I'm going to create kind of the top part, the crown here. And so I'm just going to use the line to go out a little bit. I'm just going to go like 0.125 there. Image, you can see this kind of comes out, rounds down, and then kind of comes back to the collar, and then this bottom section curves down and back into the base. So I'm going to work with that next. So we're going to use kind of this 3-point arc. So like if you need to, click this drop down and make sure you're on the 3-point, because that'll allow you to connect. So this is my first point. I want to go kind of like right out to this area. Maybe right there. And then I move this and I can get just a little slight bend in it, like right. Let's zoom in a little bit. Kind of right there. And now I'm going to go from just inside the top part of the collar out. I think it needs to come out a little farther, like right there. And I want to put just a little bit of an arc in that, maybe like right there. And then I want to go ahead and connect this up. And that is about how I want that to look. And then I need another arc. I'm going to go with a straight line, kind of from the base right in this area to make that angle. I'm going to go right out about in this area. And then I'm going to use a 3-point arc to go from the end of that line to this general area under the collar, and then I'm going to just get the shape that I want here. So it's going to be kind of like that. And in terms of like how you want to make the arc, you really just need to look at it and get it so that you're happy with it. When you look at the drawing, you can kind of see how this was created, and that's just kind of what you're going for. The last thing to do is the cross on the top, the fentanyl. You can make that a number of different ways. I've got this small kind of flat spot right here on the top, and the cross is not going to be a revolve. It's going to be an extrude, so I can't just make half of it. I need to make the whole thing. So I'm going to use my line command here. And I'm going to go into that line with 0.125. So I'm going to go to that, and I'm going to go up 0.125. That's a 1/16 of an inch cross is centered on the center line right there. Alright. Let's go ahead and finish the sketch. And this is where things get interesting. So now you can use the revolve command to select these different sections that you want to revolve. And you can select a bunch of them. I'm actually going to do the collar and the base first. So I'm going to go ahead and select that I want to revolve them around. Select this axis right here. I want to revolve them around the center line. And I get this. And I want to stop there for a minute, because what I can do is I can use the fillet command now to round some of these edges. And this dimension you're going to need to make really small, like 0.0625, like a 16th of an inch, maybe less. We could go like 0.05, because we're working with some really small surfaces here. And maybe I want to do that one as well. Something like this. Click OK. And then I want my sketch to appear again. So I click the plus sign by Revolution 1, right click Sketch 1, go to Visibility. And now I can see my sketch again. And I'm going to revolve this section and this section around the axis right there. Alright, click OK. And now the cross, okay, I'm going to extrude that. I don't want to revolve it, so I'm going to select that. And I'm going to extrude it symmetrically. So right there, it extrudes both directions from the center line. And that, I'm going to make point, let's do 0.625. So the total thickness would be 1/8 of an inch, but it's going point, it's 1/16th of an inch in the way. I think that looks alright. Let me check that out. There we go. I think that looks about right. So, there we have it. We can turn the sketch off. Right click on it. Take the check mark out of visibility. That's what we've got so far. Now you can use chamfers, fillets, various things to modify this. You could go in and like create a sketch on the front side of this cross if you wanted to make some like curved sections and things and make that more stylized. Like this is kind of the starting point. We have the basic shape done. I think you can kind of see how that works now. It's not too difficult to sketch these out on Inventor and then extrude and revolve them to make actual shape. So, okay, hope that was helpful.